Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we're here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others and in our external environment. And if we want those areas to change, we need to change where we are inside of ourselves. We have to shift, we have to heal wounds, we have to seek them out. And that's the work that we really do here. And today is the divine check-in where we just look at that balance, checking the head space and the heart space of the two sides of self. You can come here to get information about a person, but your person is also composed of masculine and feminine energy. This is not just about gender. This is really about energy. So you can get a lot of information from both parts. You don't just have to stay for the one that applies to the gender of your person, if that's something that you tend to do when you come to others' readings. So one thing I've been doing is choosing a tarot card from the Aleister Crowley Thoth Tarot that represents for this reading what would be for the highest good. So the messages that we receive from this reading, this will tell what is in the it's so interesting. How do I want to phrase this? I have to find a way to articulate this better because it's something that it helps me focus the reading or just have more of an understanding of where my ego's desires play a role and where where the actual higher self is leading me. Because your ego will hear the messages, be like, oh, divine masculine is coming back and he's going to call me and we're going to go out. That's what your ego wants. Or maybe your ego is afraid and it's like protecting you. So it's hearing these dark messages. It's like, oh, he's got a third party and he's doing this and that and the other thing. So what I want to do is help you to see that the messages that we're going to focus on today are going to be about options. This is the Seven of Cups. What's interesting is that Aleister Crowley has decided to put debauch here. And debauchery is where you sort of just go deep into all of the forbidden things. So I do sense that what will be for the highest good of all is if we start to release these other parties, these other energies, these other options that are more about the surface level, just physical, sort of lusty type of relationships or lack of relationships, really, because there's not really a whole lot of connection or bonding going on in these situations, and open up to the opportunities that offer what is for the highest good of all. So making decisions, making choices that are about choosing to honor the self and what you truly desire. So not settling for, only one of these. Like, these are all the things that you desire. Like, all these cups have all the different fantasies and ideas and thoughts that you've had. And it's not just assessing one option, being like, oh, well, this option has this, and so I'll go with this for a minute. But knowing that all these other things really aren't there. It's about not really settling for what doesn't serve you to a certain extent. So that's going to be what will be for the highest good of all when you receive these messages today. All right. And to emphasize that, it is the first card that we're going to look at because Divine Feminine had two cards showing. I'm going to flip over the rest of her cards, and she's going to go first today. And we're looking at her headspace. We're going to use the Fountain Tarot. And the first thing on her mind is the Seven of Cups, which we just talked about. It is in reverse, and these cards get so washed out, which is a shame. Go buy this deck. It's amazing. But this face that she has is one of confusion, fog. She doesn't know which option to choose. She's uncertain. And a reversal on this means that she's made a decision. She has clarity. I often think with the Fountain Tarot, just because of this energy of the tarot, that it is about divine feminine really choosing to honor herself. And this is the overall feeling of the headspace. So this is what she's doing. She keeps thinking about everything and being like, how can I choose myself in this situation? How can I choose my needs? And this isn't to be mistaken with narcissism or selfishness. This is self-reflexive, self-focused. So the ability to look at the self and assess what the true needs are. What is the essence of what I need? And again, not settling for options just for the hell of it, just for, to just engage in all of the different sort of primal urges you have, but to be discerning about who you allow to be one of your options. And this can be about work as well and career. It can be about doing job hunting. And in the past being like, okay, I'll just like apply to Starbucks and stuff because I just need hourly wages. And then being like, no, that's not an option. I need to choose something that is really in alignment. It doesn't have to be if I want to be the CEO of a major company, I probably should start somewhere that's a little more believable for me. But I'm going to think about what types of skills the CEO would need. And then I'm going to look for a job that will teach me those things. And I'm going to look for the best salary, the best possible hourly wages, if I'm looking for that I can possibly imagine, to get me as close as I can to the feelings I'm trying to achieve. You're having clarity and discernment about your own decisions about the self, which is gorgeous energy. First thing on your mind is the Knight of Wands, though. You just feel so manipulated by this energy, but this is in the past. So I have the way that I do the divine tune-in is I have, it's 6 cards and 3 positions, past, present, and potential. So in this past placement here, we have the Knight of Wands. And I do feel this is about the masculine energy, sweeping you off your feet. I believe you desire that and you're thinking about how you desired it, but also how that came with the baggage that it came with. Good morning, Elizabeth. Came with this baggage of, the inconsistency, the ineffectiveness, the sexual energy. And again, if you are no longer considering other options, then you're putting any type of, just purely sexual karmic energy behind you. I'm going to focus the feminines who are watching this right now. We're looking at the feminine energy, but I want you to focus, if you're here thinking about a masculine person, that masculine person has this feminine energy within them. So that person is also choosing to be self-reflexive and self-focused, not in a narcissistic or selfish way, is releasing this tendency towards purely sexual or inconsistent or inefficient energy. This is a past energy for this person as well. So keep in mind, I know a lot of times we just completely ignore one side or the other, but these energies are shared and reflected. It's not just black and white. It's a mixture of energies that you complement with someone else. Okay, so the next thing on Divine Feminine's mind is the Magician. This is manifestation. This is co-creation with spirit, having a desire and wanting to see it come into pass in the material. This is, I was watching Meredithia Crystals and Minerals yesterday, and Meredith was saying that the Magician you have to consider is it's the one, right? So this is actually an early state. Like you're actually in the Magician energy, even though you are aware of your powers, you're truly a novice. This is in the present placement. And I think divine feminine is having this awareness that divine masculine is as much of a novice as she is. And the inconsistency, the love bombing, this was part of this manipulation. But divine feminine has, this is in her headspace, there's an acceptance here that there is a reflection of her, right? She used her own methods of love bombing, was inconsistent, was sometimes lusty, right? And manipulative. And the reason why is because of her concerns about the potential for the twin flame dynamic not to work out. She was tired of waiting, having to wait for this healing, honestly. This is a very, like I said, the magician is giving me today a feeling of a novice, a feeling of somebody who is in the early phases and stages of their spiritual development and their powers of manifestation. And she wanted things to happen sooner. She felt mastery before she truly had achieved it. And so there is this feeling of impatience that we're getting about the manipulation, even though she herself was trying to manipulate the timeline. She felt manipulated by the masculine, who was love bombing, but continued to love bomb to try to push the timeline and manipulate the timeline herself. So there is an awareness in the headspace. In the past placement, clarifying this Knight of Wands is the 10 of Wands, which is this willingness to put this burden down of this type of energy. This means, how do you know me without knowing me? This literally was me trying to push the timeline. Yes, I know you because you are me, because you're a reflection of me. And I love you because of that too, right? So we are seeing the divine feminine wanting to put down this burden of, first of all, being this Knight of Wands in her life, loving what she does, having a passion for it, being like, yes, music, yes, 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 yes. And then being like, did you work on it today? No. Why not? I don't know, because I really love it. But I didn't work on it because why? Well, probably because I have wounds or fears, or because I'm a teenager in my development, in my spiritual development, in my ability to manage my emotions and my discipline. I'm still learning those things. Divine feminine is thinking about herself, and she's really not wanting to be childish and immature with her own energy anymore, because she's getting smart. And she's like, when I'm childish and immature, so are the people around me. It's like inevitable. It's like liminence. It's like mirror neurons, man. Right? There's even a scientific explanation for it, so we can jerk our dicks off to the science behind that things we know already. So she's ready to put this down. She wants to hear, similarly, some communication from the masculine that she's focused on, that he is reflecting this back to her. So she wants to hear from him, hey, I've been an asshole. I've been really childish. I'm sorry about it. It's my fault. What can I do to make it better? It's ready for that. The consequence of putting down this burden of this type of silly energy is the novice, right? The magician that's just manipulating, just trying to bring their fantasies into reality, trying to, use all the tools they have to just do anything they possibly can to really make this happen. The clarifier is the Emperor. So establishing a foundation, a financial foundation, a feeling of protection, a feeling that you can provide for yourself, that you can manage all of the pieces that are moving, like the moving parts, and that you're doing this with someone else, like the co-creator in terms of the divine. But again, remember, divination is about finding the divine within, the divine in the masculine, the divine in the feminine, and you're seeking to manifest this kind of masculine worth energy outside of self because you want to be able to share the burden of this energy with a partner. That's what you're thinking about. But you know that you're not, you know that these type of partners are not an option for you anymore. So when you're thinking about it, you're like, if it's not a divine masculine energy that's in my life, I don't want it. But I think you're detaching from the specifics because I'm not seeing any pentacles here. So you're just really understanding that if the person that is your twin isn't in the divine masculine energy, you don't want it. It's not just applying to, the whole population like it used to because all you wanted was the person you thought was your divine masculine. You're realizing that the person who has the potential for being your divine masculine ain't divine. He's a human. Or whatever the gender is. Could be a she, could be a whatever. But that person is human. They're flawed. They're reflecting your traits back to you, right? The manipulative ones, the controlling ones, the demanding ones. So now you're like, oh, I have to have this within myself. In order for me to come into union with anyone else, because even my person who I'm pretty sure is my twin, without this energy, without embodying this energy, they can't come forward. So I have to be this thing, which is amazing that you're thinking about it that way, feminine. But what did I say? This Two of Wands, you can't fight it. So this is the Seven of Wands in reverse. This can be about having healthy boundaries. It can be about not having healthy boundaries. It can be about being defensive and defenseless. It can be about all these communications and actions that you engage in and how you're actually fighting against yourself. Because if you look out at the playing field, there's no actual warriors here. It's just an illusion. It's your own sort of battleground you've created. But we're seeing a reversal here, and this is the potential. You see that the potential is that you are actually defenseless to your twin, right? To the person that you think is your twin. But even though you know that, you're very determined to choose yourself. You're like, if that person comes forward, there's really nothing I can do about it. And I'm absolutely defenseless. And if this person steps forward to me in that Emperor energy, there will be no other options. But without the Emperor energy that reflects my own masculine worth energy back to me, even this person is not an option, which I love. I love that because that should be true. You should not be settling, right? Settling for anything less than what you have in these cups. And remember, this isn't specifics. This is the essence. So it's not like you're so picky you can never, ever be with anybody. That's a self-defeating behavior as well. But it's that you are open to receiving what you have put in these cups. And you know that your worthiness means that you cannot receive less. There's no vacancy, no rent-free space for less than the essence of everything you put in your cups. And it's your job to try to understand the essence. Look at that. Who's at the bottom of the deck there? Shh, go away. It's your job to understand the essence of what is in these cups. Because once you understand the essence, you can be like, oh, I know how to give myself these things. And as I give myself these things, I keep, because of liminence and mirror neurons, I keep attracting people in my life who are capable of doing these things. And if they are not capable, they don't come before me. They don't appear. I'm not an option. You know how people look around and they're like, oh, I couldn't even, that person is like out of my league. You become out of their league energetically. All right, let's look at the heart space. This is a lot of information for Divine Feminine, but I feel it's really like a beautiful energy. Even the cards right now look very beautiful all together. The top of the deck for the heart space for Divine Feminine is the King of Wands. And this is a stag. So we have that energy. This is fierce, visionary, pioneering leader, somebody who's not going to mince words, expert communicator, but cuts right to the heart of it, like doesn't do surface level stuff. There's an intensity here. There's a drive and an ambition and some ego, but it's a healthy ego. It's the car that the intuition is driving. This is a totally this is a powerful feeling from the heart space. This is you're on fire. You're ready. You're prepared to take action. And the action that you're contemplating is just making a choice, making a decision. And that decision will not include this energy. So if your person who you feel is your twin is in the Knight of Wands energy, you won't choose them, because you're only going to choose what is reflected back to you. And who you are is this King of Wands. So there's absolutely no way that the Divine Masculine, without developing at this point, would be, or not the Divine Masculine, but the person you're focused on, without developing their Divine Masculine, there's no way that you will choose them. The niggling feeling is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is the desire to be overly nurturing to the masculine that you know is in this energy. You have been too maternal, too mothering, too you have coddled this energy in the past. It's because you lacked your own coddling, and you know how it feels, and so you don't want others to feel that way. And so you've really kind of just enabled. It's not your fault, so don't take that as a fault, but you have allowed this energy to remain because you know that there was suffering here. And it's like when you give yourself a pass, it's like, listen, your life is hard. You've had a lot of shit to deal with. It's okay for you to have another joint. Like, it's fine. You can have one every hour all day long if you want to. Like, you deserve that. You deserve the rest. You deserve to be numb. You deserve to not have to feel or experience this pain. Like, I understand and I love you and I just want to protect you, right? That is a feeling that we have that we want to follow through on, but we know if we tap into our logic, from the feelings of our heart back to our logic, back and forth in a balanced way, we can assess that if we continue to numb, we don't feel, we don't heal. If we continue to numb out this Divine Masculine by making sure he knows how much we love him, how nurturing we are, how, we're always going to be there. This Divine Masculine he cannot heal himself, right? So that has been a shadowy thing for you. You've got this niggling feeling that you were too overprotective, too nurturing, and too clingy to the energy. Think of a mother that has never wants her children to leave, right? Just wants them to stay home forever, doesn't want them to date or go out to college or get a career and just stay with me and be with me and take care of my needs, right? There is a little awareness here that somehow this had developed. I realize I forgot to say the niggling thing in the back of your mind. It's interesting because it is the internal struggle that I'm talking about right now. And underlying all of the thoughts that we just saw in the headspace is that stuck energy, that impact, that feeling that there's too many parties, not necessarily a karmic party, but if we are dealing with these other options, it could be that, but just an energy that is actively opposing the union energy of the Four of Wands, okay? And that can be career, it can be ego, it can be, it's not necessarily a person. It doesn't even matter if it is. It functions in the same way. That's why when people are like, oh, he's cheating, I'm like, yeah, get a list of things that are going to be opposing your union right now. Cheating is just one of them. The main thing is that this person has an internal block, which is reflected back to you. And somewhere within you, you have that same block that matches. And you have to find the wound and dig it out, right? Okay, let's get to it. We've got the first thing in the heart space. Wow. A King of Cups. Clarifying the Knight of Wands. This is why we're over nurturing. The King of Cups is the best. The King of Cups is such a good, kind, loving, compassionate, caring, honorable, just, noble, wonderful, handsome daddy. And he doesn't say shit, does not express his feelings. And so he quite honestly engages in very immature communication. Love bombing. Okay, so we're not confused about the reason why we would coddle someone that does this, because they're fucking amazing. So we're like, oh my God, this person's so amazing. Why the fuck are they such an asshole? Remains to be seen. But that's why we're doing what we're doing, okay? Then we're getting the 9 of Swords in reverse. And this is clarifying the Magician. So you're trying to release your fears and anxieties about your power and about the power over you that the masculine energy has. You're starting to understand. It used to feel like it was like stalking you all the time. Like like it was a predator. It was preying upon your mind, the manipulation. But you're actually realizing, no. Really, all of these were my own thoughts about the activities that I would observe the masculine engaging in, and then I would project a prison of my own onto those behaviors that the masculine had. Truly, I don't know the intentions. It's impossible to know the intentions of a person who is silent. So truly, I don't know the intentions of what that masculine was doing. And how do I know that they were completely in tune with it either? That there wasn't an element of divine in the things that I was interpreting as meant for me, or, however that is. And so I just need to release the fears about my masculine being manipulative, because I can see how that's really not serving me. And if I could do that, I could be free. What could I be free to do? Well, here's the 2 of Wands in reverse. This is what I've been trying to get rid of in my headspace. Get rid of the twin. Get rid of the twin. I don't want to be on this journey. I don't care about it anymore. I just want another option. I just want a soulmate. I just want something else. I can't do this anymore. So where does your heart on that? The 8 of Cups. And there's the freedom I was talking about. And where is the freedom? It's walking away from the confusion, the uncertainty. And where was the headspace? Not wanting to be in confusion and uncertainty anymore, but making a decision. Have you not truly walked away? We know yesterday from the TikTok Divine Feminine check-in that she has tried to let go, but still finds herself holding on to these pieces, right? It's like that version of the tower where there's hands reaching around trying to hold up this burning tower, an impossible feat. But the 8 of Cups is about walking towards your higher calling. And in truth, this is Divine Feminine's higher calling. So her heart is urging her to head towards sacred union. And sacred union involves waiting for what you have asked for to manifest, which was right before it, right? The Magician with the 9 of Swords, waiting for what you have asked for to manifest, and giving yourself the freedom to do so. Because some of the war you have inside of you is because of all of these external views about what you should do, how you should live, how things should be done. You rely on twin flame readers, which, not even me, please. Like, I am learning as I teach. So, everything I'm saying, there's the ego part of me that's present. And then there's the part of me that is just saying what is flowing. And then I step back and I'm like, wow, that was not me, right? Those are the messages I trust, but I'm the one doing the reading, so I can feel the difference. But you have to have the same experience for yourself. You have to know how you feel personally. And that's something that you can learn. It's a muscle. Intuition is a muscle that you can keep testing. That's what cards allow you to do. You feel something and then you pull the card and you're like, oh my God, that's what I was feeling. It's something that only you can understand on your own. And so when other people are giving their ideas or opinions about how things should go, how long you should wait, how long you should not wait, what you should just try to come back to that center, where the only communication that happens about your choices is with the divine, is through prayer and asking for signs and asking for the ability to understand them, to have discernment. The star, you keep getting this card. And I love that in this image, she's pulled by her dream. Like that star is literally, she's like grabbed onto the star. We're thinking of it as a shooting star maybe. And she's, really going all the way with it. We have here it clarifying this 10 of Wands. And so I feel like there's a lot of responsibility in being a star, right? There's usually stars, celebrities, they have like a whole team of people around to share this burden with them. There's all these moving pieces. There's the security team. There's your PR and marketing people that protect you and protect your image. There's, the managing who can come in and around you and take time from you because your time is so limited. Like this is not something you can totally do all completely on your own. It's a burden that you feel needs to be shared with a team of individuals. It's not just you. It's like you are grabbing onto this dream and you're letting it take you where it needs to go, but you have an awareness that where you want to go is a place where you're sharing this light with others, not just as a person who's giving messages or giving healing or performing in some way, but in your partnerships. And I think too, you want whatever has been hidden, whatever has been in the dark, see how there's light in this masculine energy finally revealing you, because the masculine energy has kept this feminine side of self completely hidden. This Emperor card is being clarified by the Knight of Cups in reverse. So this is a feeling that the divine masculine that you associate in your head with the twin. Yes, so the person that you associate with the divine masculine energy, the person you think is your twin, this person is not offering you the cup. They're being stubborn, they're being withholding, they're being controlling, and they're not offering you a cup of love. And you want to be open to receiving love from any truly divine masculine, right? Think about it. Every person has a divine masculine, divine feminine energy inside of self. You are hoping that your twin will develop this divine masculine to come forward to you. There are other people out there who are developing as the divine masculine, and their divine feminine, the person they're focused on, who they wish would achieve divine feminine status, is not. And so there is a divine masculine out here with a twin that's not going to develop soon, and a divine feminine in the same position, and that's who you attract. Not necessarily your twin, but another soulmate who has achieved the level that you have achieved within you. Would you say no to that? Would you want to stick around just because this asshole is a good guy? I don't know. So be open to receiving offers that match your energy, and be discerning about the offers that come in to determine whether that's actually true or whether it's just more of something surface level that you're trying to, appease. And then finally, we have justice. And that is clarifying the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is what Divine Feminine has been fighting for, but she's realizing that she doesn't necessarily need to fight for justice, because justice, karma, is inevitable. So this emperor that's been withholding, the song that came on from the Beatles today, you're going to lose that girl. If you don't treat her right, then somebody who does is going to come in. And that song played during the feminine shuffle, not the masculine. It was like, hey, bro, you're going to lose that girl, because there's a lot of divine masculines out there. You're just one of them. So that's the divine feminine. All right, let's go over to the divine masculine side of self. We're going to look at the headspace. Let me just flip over his cards. He was doing a little overthinking. He had 2 extra cards here in potential outcome. Oh my God. It's just priceless. All right. So guess what? The overall thing on divine masculine's mind today, it's the divine feminine, the high priestess. Remember, the high priestess is intimidating. She's a bit holier than thou, and she's functioning as a teacher. We have these chairs around here. It really looks like divine masculine is thinking about how he has been schooled by the divine feminine right now. And I also think he's really feeling he can trust himself. He can trust his feelings about her. And he feels like he can trust who he thinks that she is. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is that he has utterly exhausted this divine feminine to the point where she is ready to walk away, to be free from him in this 8 of Cups energy. The thing is, the divine masculine is embodying the feminine and trusting his intuition. And his intuition is telling him, you're going to lose that girl. You're going to lose that girl. So fucking move, right? Be the King of Wands, says divine feminine, who's utterly exhausted, okay? So divine masculine is tuning into his intuition because he is in union in himself, and he is balanced. The first thing on his mind is temperance. So this masculine has had some issues with potentially substances. This King of Cups can be known to enjoy his cups. But right now, we're seeing the divine masculine is in a temperance energy. He is balancing his emotions. He is emotionally regulating. And the high priestess is the balance of the masculine feminine energy, and temperance is the balancing act. So it is the masculine himself in his headspace who is effectively balancing and being patient the current energy. And this is what he's been working on. So the temperance energy is what he's been working on. And now we have him thinking about this 8 of Pentacles in reverse. He's thinking about work and career having less of a hold over him, or being less important to him than his feminine's work and career, which is an interesting thing to be thinking about. I love this right here. This is the masterpiece of my day. I did not party last night. I mean, I had a lot of fun. We did a ritual with my team member Ash here, works with me for Tuned In Tarot, just my sister witch. And we did this whole thing, and it was like beautiful and like emotional, but I didn't drink or anything like that. And I feel hungover today. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. So you're getting me like, I didn't try that hard today. Sorry about it. All right. But the 8 of Pentacles, we see divine masculine thinking about what feminine's work is. We might see him wishing something about her work, that she did different work, that she was less focused on her work, that she could do her work, that he could be a part of her work. There could be a lot of different layers that are coming through, but for certain in this current moment, he's thinking a lot about how he wants to release his own focus on career and really maybe be able to focus on Divine Feminine's career a little bit. Maybe he has disregarded the importance of that for her or something about that. And then the potential energy we have is the Tower in reverse. So this is being unable to rebuild the tower. And so the story that I see unfolding here. Oh, yes. Okay. Let me tell you what. The veil last night, I think Divine Masculine tuned into the veil because he's really psychic right now, the things that he's thinking about. He's being patient with the feminine. He's being patient with the feminine because he can see that she has some work to do and that he's not going to be able to rebuild this tower with her until she completes this work, whatever it is. He doesn't know if she needs to heal something. He doesn't know, because whatever it is making her defensive against him. 7 of Wands. What he doesn't know is that Divine Feminine's outcome today is releasing this energy of being defensive against this twin flame journey. She's embracing the journey, but understanding the point. So she's like, okay, you are my twin. Fine. But until you appear as this, we don't have much to talk about. I'm open to you. I'm not defending myself against you. In fact, I'm defenseless to you. However, you must look like this. It's not my fault that you can't come forward. You just have to match me. You just have to understand that you are worthy. You can't put me on a pedestal, right? That's what's coming from Divine Feminine. Look at that. You need to be on your own pedestal, masculine. Because the reason that you can't express to me is you keep putting me up as higher than you. And I'm great. But so are you. I can understand how you would be confused. You might think I'm better than you. I'm a Leo. Easy mistake to make. But you're not. You're not better than me. It's really hard for me to admit that, okay? So the masculine energy is really feeling that thinking that while this Divine Feminine is defensive against him, there she is in her hermit energy. He doesn't have a way to rebuild the connection with her. And he believes that this has happened because of how she's so exhausted from him. Not realizing that her true calling is to get exhausted by him so that she can do the shit she needs to do to become the emperor. And when she does that in the separation, forcing him to do the same, right? Divine Masculine is also wanting to fight for the feminine and get her to come out of this hermit energy. Feminine is like, what do you mean? If you called me right now and was like, hey, do you want to go pick apples at the apple orchard on the East Coast? Because that sounds really good to me. I'd be like, okay. So what do you mean hermit? Like, I got a phone. I got emails all over the internet. I got social media. Like, pop up Divine Masculine and be like, hey, come out with me. And I'll be like, abso-fucking-lutely. But in the meantime, while you're not doing that, she's soul searching and trying to figure out why the fuck he's not doing that, right? And what she's finding out is like, oh, I have to be this person of action. I have to take action. I have to go after the things that I want, which means I have to come out of my isolation to do it. And what happens when that happens? When I stop fighting and defending myself against the potential of running into this masculine in social settings, then you get to experience that. What is it that you wanted? You wanted to run into the masculine so you could reunite. Okay. Go do it then. All right. So then the next thing the divine masculine is thinking about, this is where he's overthinking. Oh, the divine masculine does love to overthink. The magician in reverse and judgment in reverse. Now, we saw divine feminine thinking about magician energy and her masculine, thinking about him as releasing these ideas of him as manipulative stalker. She was feeling he was. She's like, that bitch is a manipulative stalker. And divine masculine is thinking, I wish that she would not think of me as a manipulative stalker. Because I'm not. And I want to be forgiven for the ways that I have been manipulative. And I wish that she could understand that it was because I was trying to rebuild this connection with her that I was acting a fool. But it had nothing to do with any judgments I had about her. Also, I think divine masculine is really wanting her to know that there's nothing wrong with her. There's no reason that he doesn't come forward that has to do with any defects in the feminine. To the masculine, the feminine is perfect, which is why he puts her on a pedestal. Okay. It's fine. I am perfect. Okay, so the top of the deck, heart space for the masculine energy. It's the Four of Wands from the Zombie Tarot that I couldn't put down after Halloween because it's fucking great. So this is the happiness. What's really interesting is that in this depiction, the zombies got to come in and devour all of the humans and take over. And they're all together. They're all united. You're kind of thinking like this family maybe lived there before and they achieved zombie status and have returned to their home now. But this is about union. It's associated with the 1111 or the twin flame union. I see you saying hello. This is a collective reading, so I don't answer personal questions, but if you have questions about what I'm talking about, I try to see them and I try to pay attention, but I'm channeling, so sometimes I don't see the questions in the chat. My apologies. But if you do want a personal reading, go to pearlsprayers.com. There's a booking place. There's a place where you can email me if you need help choosing a service or if you need to inquire about any current discounts or anything that are going on. Just go ahead and head over there, and you can also see all of the places where I do free readings to get insight from those readings. And thank you for joining me. All right. So the masculine is feeling this union energy, and look, he's thinking about it too, right? Because this is the sacred union and the two pillars, the black and white pillars that are in the original imagery of the high priestess, the balancing, the union, the twin flame. So he's feeling and trusting in this twin flame union. The niggling feeling is this devil energy. We know in his headspace that he's been working to practice this temperance to counter this addiction energy. Now, this devil energy can represent not only addiction, and then in this card, they really emphasize the substance abuse because this is a cigarette machine. But it's also about, oh, interesting. I'm just looking at the little details. There's like a hand here with a cigarette, like that clearly has died. And there's this female zombie here peering over the side. So divine masculine's ego is getting in his way. He is still obsessing. He is still wanting to, like, he kind of feeling the femme fatale energy that, like, the divine feminine is kind of, he's a little bit fears. He fears that she might be a devil, that she might be like this, the Knight of Wands, right? Like a good person, but like immature, and kind of like reflecting back to him. He has fears about that she's just going to walk away like that stereotypical the woman is a devil kind of a thing, and he's countering that feeling of union with this fear that he could be in bondage to her or codependent upon her, or however you want to look at that. Here's a familiar card. It is the Five of Wands, which we already saw as the niggling thing in the back of Divine Feminine's head. And this is what is clarifying the Temperance card. So Divine Masculine is being patient with this struggle, because he understands that it takes time to clean up a mess, and there has been a mess between them, but he's being patient with himself. He understands that he's tearing himself apart, that these wounded parts of himself have gotten in his way. They could have created a third party energy like other options, because that was the overarching theme here, but he's understanding that he's tearing himself apart by struggling against the desire that he has for this Four of Wands that we started off with here, right? And then what has he been frustrated by in terms of this material, being able to see abundance come from his hard work? The twin flame. This is the Two of Wands, which Divine Feminine had over here in reverse. This is what her heart was or her head was thinking she needed to walk away from, and her heart was actually seeing there's a freedom there and accepting that that person is the twin, but then still being able to head towards her higher calling, which is a healed self and sacred union, right? So much alignment. So the Divine Masculine, he's having to wait. I think he's asked to work with the feminine, and he's having to wait for this to happen. And he's afraid. He's afraid, I think, of her getting away. There's an energy of fear of Divine Feminine getting away, because he won't be healed enough for something. The next card is the reason why the tower isn't being rebuilt. It is the Three of Swords in upright. So the tower is in reverse, but the Three of Swords is upright. So Divine Masculine feels that there has been so much heartbreak, and that he has created, that he has literally devoured like Divine Feminine, like he's taken pieces of her heart. He's consumed with these thoughts about her, and it hurts him, and he knows that it hurts her, and he fears that this is the reason why this tower, she won't initiate the rebuilding with him. He wants to rebuild with her, but he fears that he's hurt her too much. And so he's fighting to match her. Get excited, feminine, because there it is, and it's upright for you both. He's fighting to match her, to clean up the messes that he made. And this is interesting because he's defending like his family, right, from the zombies. You can see these zombies here coming through the door, and he has blocked them. He's prevented this shit, this past energy from coming through. He's protecting his inner child. He's modeling this behavior so that this child, he might actually have a child, can see him like be in his masculine worth energy. And he's fighting off whatever potential harm would come to his family. So the next card that comes up is so interesting. It is clarifying the Hermit. It is the Four of Swords. We have the masculine energy sleeping, resting, grieving from the battles that he has had to endure. And he's healing, and he's silent, and divine. And divine feminine is also completely quiet. She is in this energy too. She is needing to relax and rejuvenate and gain her strength. And the final feeling divine masculine has is he has to communicate to the feminine. We have the Eight of Wands. He has to communicate. He has to face his fears. He has to release these fears that she will not forgive him for the manipulation. He wants to express to her that there is something that he was protecting her from. It could have been like a past karmic partner energy or anything that was associated with that energy, but everything that he did to protect this feminine energy. He wants to be able to express this to her. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. That's a lot. Okay, divine feminine. Let's go to your oracles. I'm going to take a nap after this. Somehow, although my puppy will probably be like Energizer Bunny when we finish because she's sleeping this whole time. All right. So divine feminine, you are in the light attributes right now of the beggar energy. This is confronting empowerment at the level of physical survival and awakening the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. So you've been facing off this Five of Pentacles energy and really releasing a dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. You're understanding that you don't need to depend on anyone but yourself, and you need to put in the action and make the choices and decisions and be clear about your vision so that you can bring yourself justice, right? Your guardian angel is here to help you with these blessings of abundance. You're about to receive, or you have been receiving quite a lot of abundance. You might have some fears about how to manage it, and you're being sent heavenly guidance with handling the abundance that you are about to receive. I knew this was the card. This is so just those moments where your intuition, where you check it and you're like, wow. I shuffled this deck and I was just thinking about this deck. I was thinking about how a lot of the same messages come out, and I was starting to think like, does that mean like I've seen all the messages? Are certain cards not coming out? Do I need to change out that deck because I'm feeling like the same messages are coming out? And I don't see it. I shuffle it and I don't look at the cards. If it flips over, then I see it. But if it doesn't, then I just put it away and I don't see it until I pull it with you. When I was putting this card down, I knew that it was dark. Not all the cards are cards with darkness in them. And I just was like, oh, I wonder if one of the cards about darkness is going to come out today. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. This is the core of acceptance in the twin flame journey. When you recognize that the dark energy that you experience in the journey was about learning lessons everyone has to learn, but that you learned them through the eyes of the teacher of love. And that's what the difference is between you on the twin flame journey, if you are feeling that you are called on that journey, and someone who is not. It doesn't mean like, oh, you're super special and you're more special than anyone else. It's not. It's just like, oh, there are all different styles of learning. There are all different ways to learn about manifestation and about connection to the divine. And this is one of them. And this is the one that you chose. You chose to learn about how fear and love function, and you're doing that through the eyes of these people that you hold as meaningful connections to you. And you're being urged to have gratitude for this journey instead of resisting it. Embark on it, but understand that the reason that you're resisting is because your ego wants something it's not getting. You're not realizing that you're getting everything you need from this journey, not the person, but the journey with the person. And if you can have gratitude then then the resentment that you feel about the timeline or whatever it is, that starts to fade away. Reconciliation. Judgment has come out. It has come out. It keeps coming out. We keep seeing it. And for the feminine, it is really needing to reconcile, finding that place inside of self, finding the places where you need, because this is finding where you need to forgive yourself, where you need to forgive others. You are unconditionally loving, but you are holding a grudge right now against the masculine. Can you feel it? Because I can feel it. And I always feel it most when I'm doing the readings, because that's what most when I can feel love. I feel it the most because it's surging through me to bring you these messages. And I can always feel the misalignment with the loving feeling I truly have for my person versus that grudge that I think I'm not holding, but I am, because I feel it, right? Tune into the places, find the places that you're still holding on to some wound and not forgiving the person, and then forgive yourself for not forgiving them. And with that, forgive them too. And today is 11/1, right? So if and we had so many twin flame cards come out today. Obviously, this is an important person to you. Don't hold grudges against them. Don't be unconditionally tolerant, but don't close your heart, okay? Communication is key, and it's the twins. Jesus! And this is new moon, and the new moon is on Thursday. So this could, I don't always associate these cards with time, but it's poignant to me that we're getting so many twin cards, that we are literally in the shadow of the new moon energy, that it will reach its peak around Thursday. That seems significant to me. So communication is key. Make sure you're communicating. Oh, and I pulled this for someone else today in a personal reading. Wombat spirit, be at home, but they got the protection message. You are getting the oracle message today. This is from the Colette Baron Reed deck. And she says today, burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well-fed with family is a special trait of the wombat. Home sweet home is always available if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. Wombat spirit reminds you that to be truly at home in the world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. You do this by accepting all your experience without judgment, through a deep honesty and love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your life with your family and your tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place where you can hang up the coat of your identity and settle into a true sense of home and well-being, understanding that all is well. Everything you do from this place rings true in harmony with spirit. Okay, Divine Feminine. And then from my new Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle, we are getting the Graveyard card, which I will hold up in just a second. I'm just finding it here. This says, there is a song that bellows in the peace of knowing no end, in acknowledging the crossroads of eternity. The key words are peace and acknowledgement, and it says, many see a graveyard as a symbol of mortality. It collects the tears of mourners whose loved ones have been laid to rest. Its stillness is an ominous song that creeps up the spine, leaving us to ponder who death will come for next. But a graveyard is a place of serenity, where souls can find peace and stillness beyond the harsh realities of living. There is no longer the need to struggle against what is. It is a place of surrender. There are those who fear the graveyard, for it has long been the home of wandering spirits who cannot find peace. Those who have not transitioned to eternity, forced to live a half-life, neither dead nor alive. Souls who are faced with taking responsibility for a life not lived to the full, focused on things that didn't matter, and holding on to resentment. What did I just say? And holding on to resentment is a poison you take expecting another person to die. The graveyard card will help you find peace with where you are, right? With Wombat Spirit, be at home. There are times when we will be faced with difficult situations that are beyond your control. Those are the times that we must surrender to our current place. There is no use in fighting a battle you've already lost. Take control over the one thing you can change, yourself. The situation you're inquiring about is no longer in your hands. The powers that be have taken over. Often we are faced with a challenging ending that is necessary to facilitate a bright new beginning. Holy shit! Because what is your theme for this week? The world. The universe, actually, from the Aleister Crowley Tarot. Literally completion. Literally the end. Which allows for what? The Fool. Because at the end of the major arcana, we start again at the 0 with the Fool. Tabula rasa. Brand new beginnings, like we just read from the Seasons of the Witch Oracle, which I love so much. Okay, let's go over to Divine Masculine and see what we can see. Oh, so Masculine, you went up to 50 million cards. I'm at an hour already. You're exhausting me. I want to go lay down. All right. Divine Masculine, you are in the shadow attributes right now of the Advocate. You are embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. You need to come into the light, which is inspiring you to put compassion into action. Right now, you're not feeling very compassionate for the feminine energy. You're just feeling a little bit butt sore. Like, I get I did all these things and still nothing I could do. Like a kind of a little victim-y mentality coming, like a 9 of Wands, kind of exhausted. And what you're not recognizing is that you've been advocating for your own self this whole time. And you've really done little to advocate for the feminine energy. You probably don't like hearing that, but I'll sit here and wait to hear the ways that you've advocated for your feminine energy and self and externally. It's 10:55 on the clock right now. Go ahead, tell me. Yeah, I'm not getting anything because I don't think that you have advocated, and I know you have not, or this card wouldn't be here. So you really need to come into the light. Imagine, Masculine, you are requesting compassion from the feminine. You're requesting her to advocate for you, to feel sorry for you for the pain that you went through and caused. You're like, I caused you so much pain, and that caused me pain, and like have compassion for how much pain that it caused me to cause you pain. Divine Feminine has had all the compassion in the world. It's time for you, Masculine, to feel the feelings you don't want to feel. The 3 of Swords, you don't want to feel that. You don't want to feel that this is something that is a shared pain. You just want to feel the pain you feel for causing the pain. You don't want to feel the way it feels to have done that. And you put that on the feminine energies. You don't advocate for her. You're in the light attributes of the mediator right now, which is gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, and a respect for both sides of an argument. So you have the logical ability to advocate, but you're lacking the feelings of advocacy. So you know that there's reasons why the feminine should feel the way she does, but you don't feel compassionate for her. And I think because if you did, you fear how much it would hurt you. You need to be brave, which came out with Saint Bernadette, and speak the truth. I feel like universe is like a little fed up. It could be my ego, but I actually do feel this. this push that's not coming from my ego, this feeling of like, I'm showing you this again. I'm showing you this again. I'm showing you that you have the strength and the support to speak the truth. Are you going to do it? I always trust the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. Masculine, this is really good right now because you are thinking this and you are getting the confirmation. Yes, yes, you always know that you are being guided. Trust that I am guiding you. And what did I just guide you to do? Be brave and speak the truth with confidence. You've got the Archangel Michael here in this confidence energy, protecting and building you up, giving you the confidence you need. Feel that the energy is gaining momentum and that your dreams that you have had now need a practical plan, because the energy, this is the crown chakra, right? This purple energy, the energy of your ability to conceive of new ideas and your ability to envision something new or different, that is gaining momentum. And if you can channel that and then give it a practical plan, here's this Taurus energy. This is this full moon in Taurus. This is like getting this fulfillment of this safety in the home. So this would be something that is going, whatever your dreams are for having like a safe, protected, cozy family, give that a practical plan. Take a hold of that Chariot energy from the momentum and also start to communicate that. Wow. Divine Masculine, be fearless and bold. This is Badger Spirit. Number 4. Badger Spirit rejoices at your persistence and commitment to what is true for you. Whatever you seek, your tenacity and faith in your partnership with Spirit is paying off, and the results will soon coalesce into form in your world. The gift of Badger Spirit is the surety that taking a risk now and being courageous, fearless, and bold will yield wondrous results. This is a time to harness your will and apply it consistently to the pursuit of your dreams. Know that no matter the temporary outer conditions, you will manifest your desires in divine timing and in the form that Spirit deems best for you. Badger Spirit says you have what it takes to get what you want, so assert yourself. Be fearless and be bold, shining your light as your purpose calls you into the world. New relationships are also given a green light now. Don't be afraid to make the first move. Badger Spirit loves your brave and mighty heart. Go do it, Divine Masculine. All right, then we are getting Black Cat, or the number 7. This says, there's a curious journey into the depths of the unknown, hidden so deep that only the brave will gracefully return with light in their eyes and shadow leading home. That's significant to me. The keywords are independence, survival, and grace. It says, hello, cat with 9 lives. This bitch does have 9 lives, my God. Cats are graceful creatures, rivaling the snobbiest of humans. They are fiercely independent and value their time and space above all things. They are aloof yet love affection, and they put their health and well-being above all other things. Cats are also mysterious. They are the symbol of empowerment and setting boundaries, 2 qualities every witch needs to be successful in her craft. No wonder cats are a favorite among a witch's familiars. When the black cat comes purring into your reading, you are being asked to find your independence. Grab some me time so that you can find your footing again. It is easy to get lost in the chaos when you have a lot going on. Taking a step back to see the bigger picture is the best way to get some fresh ideas about where to go next, how to solve a problem, or how to get out of a funk. Remember, me time doesn't have to be dramatic. Having a 20-minute coffee break at your local shop can be just as rewarding as an all-day staycation. When it comes to me time, choose quality over quantity always. Black Cat asks you to learn the power of saying no. We all have to set boundaries and rules. We cannot expect others to know what is okay or not okay without some guidance. nor can we expect others to know when we have too much on our plates. It is okay to say no. This isn't a selfish act, and it doesn't mean you don't care. It is a sign of self respect and will help in the long term those in your immediate circle. You cannot give what you do not have. So there are those in your life, divine masculine, that you are needing to say no to. In order to protect yourself and your family, there are those that are requiring you to say no. And you have to suss out where that is applying for you. And then your theme for this week is the 10 of Swords, which is about the end of painful separation. And I really must point out that the divine feminine's theme is to complete a cycle, to see all the components of her universe come together into completion. And your theme is to end the separation, which would end this cycle and allow the completion to happen for the feminine. So if you take my messages very seriously and do this work and find the ways that you need to embody masculine or feminine energy and do the healing or take the advice that was given here, you can complete the cycle and end the painful separation. All right, I'm going to close out this reading with these final oracle cards. Before I do, let me just say, if you would like to book a personal reading, now is the time. You have until the end of the year to be able to do virtual sessions over Zoom with me or FaceTime at the current price. After the new year, the prices are going to shift. Some of them are going to go down a little bit because they're going to be pre-recorded readings only, but the actual virtual sessions are going to be double the price they are now. So if you want to get in, do it soon. This week, my schedule is already closed until Friday. So the soonest that you can book, I think this week is for Friday. I could be wrong about that. And sometimes there's cancellations. So always check every day just to see, because if there's a cancellation, a time slot will pop back up. But I'm starting to get booked also. So if you've been waiting to book a reading, I encourage you to book it soon, because my calendar goes out about 60 days. You can book 60 days or so in advance. But it is filling up like day to day now, which is great. And I need to continue for that to happen. So please book personal readings with me. This is my main source of bread. And if you want to just click support and send me a gratuity for the free readings I do, I appreciate that. Or you can send me a deck too, if you want to see new imagery pop up on the channel. And listen to my music. pearlsprayers.com also has my music there, which is on all the streaming services. Pearl and the Prayers, and the song that I released in July is called It's Me, Babe. That's all the announcements. All right, let's continue to close out the union. These are the things that the twins share right now. They are sharing this nature child energy, or shall I say childish nature? But no, this is friendships with animals and a communication with the nature spirits. Well, I'm feeling that. I'm very bonding with my animal currently. So there is this, there's an innocence about them right now, but the two of you, I think you are really connecting and bonding with those around you. You're developing these really loyal ties, your friendships, and you could actually both be having a lot of alone time during this alone time and spending that time with pets as well. Guardian angel, wise decision. So I think you have made a decision. Whatever decision you have made is wise, or the decision that you are about to make, you are going to be very supported in making it. So if you're confused or you need clarity, the divine is here to help you. But for the feminine, I see a choice already being made. And so I really feel that the divine is saying this is a wise decision, to be discerning about your options, not to settle for anything that doesn't give you the essence of what you desire, including the person who is the twin in this case. I am the dreamer of my dream. This is, again, that ownership, that only you know what is authentically you. This is your dream. Both of you have independent dreams, right? Like Black Cat Spirit, like you have this independent dream. And your dreams have points of intersection where they align, and that's what makes it magical when you come together with someone. But ultimately, you're responsible for your own dreams, each of you. Magician, again, we've got manifestation. This is upright. You are both manifesting what you desire right now. Those dreams, right? The wishes that you're dreaming, those dreams are now coming together. It takes a lot of mastery to manifest a soul connection like this. And you are both really masterful in that manifestation power. Because of that, you should expect powerful change. So if you've been thinking that you're stuck and things are always going to be the same, change your expectations to, no, I'm going to see a really extremely powerful change. And then we're getting koi fish spirit. This is message 36. There is always enough. And this is like just not being afraid. Growing up in a small pond, in each of us, there's the potential for prosperity. It's all around us, regardless of temporary situations. The message of this spirit is to generate wealth within with deliberate intention, no matter how small your pond may seem, and appreciate abundance wherever you see it. Outer conditions will come to reflect your inner prosperity. So the thing that I'm feeling called to talk about right now is the feminine stepped away from the masculine for two reasons. One was a higher calling, and one was a grudge, right? We talked about that, the resentment, okay? The higher calling was that she was called to focus on herself and stop over nurturing the masculine so he could grow up. That point blank, okay? That's the higher calling. The second part of it, which was the motivation, it was the car, okay? The ego was, you said you were coming, you said it over and over and over, you said all these things, and you're not coming, and you didn't do it, and you're not talking, and I'm better than that, and I deserve better than that, and fuck you. That was the car, okay? So you got in the car, you're like, wow, fuck you for this. Like, it's our fucking 13th anniversary and you do nothing. My fucking masculine on my 13th anniversary put up a fucking song called Say Goodbye. Bitch, you bet I got in the car. I got in the car and drove the fuck away. I was like, I'm getting a car. I'm going back to the East Coast and I'm never thinking about him again, right? Look at how red I'm getting. Say goodbye, motherfucker. Okay, that's the car. But once I got in the car and realized I didn't know how to even drive it because I was too emotional to do anything except for cry behind the steering wheel, Spirit was like, give me the keys. We're going somewhere good. This is a nice car. I picked it out just for you. It's fully loaded. You don't even know how many features this car has because your ass is busy crying about it. But I will drive you where you need to go. And where you need to go right now is we're going to turn the car around. We're going to stop looking over the bridge at the city down there. We're going to go back to your home, which is your authentic self. We're going to pull in the garage. We're going to set up camp there. And we're going to figure this shit out together. Because you asked me to give you something. I really fucking want to give it to you. So you let me drive the car away from this person right now. So we can go figure out. You can relax a minute. Shouldn't be driving this condition. And we'll see what's going on. You're like, okay. And then you cried all the way home. And the car just drove. And you drove to the place where you are now. And now here you are. And there's some good things here. And there's still some things your ego is holding on to. You still got the car. The car's still in the garage, you know. You needed to have that happen. You needed to have a grudge. The grudge was part of the journey. But now you have to face that the grudge is the car, right? It's just the ego. It can't drive itself. It's just going to be there until you go and like tune up the car. So you align with the divine and you repair the car. You get rid of the grudge. You turn the car into something else. Something that's a little flashier, a little nicer to look at, it's still problematic. It's going to get you in trouble. It's going to get you in accidents if you're not careful. You can never drive that by yourself, but you can make it look nicer. This is the next message that's coming. Wow, Jesus, the other card that's coming after this. This is rooted. May you never tear the living ritual that is magic, merged within the roots of your being, the soil of your soul. And this is number 34 in the Seasons of the Witch. Must be the season of the witch. Okay. So all day long, I'll just suddenly start being like, I'm one of those witches, babe. And I can't stop. So I'm just so upset about that song being constantly used. And also my dog probably is. Because my dog will just be sitting there peaceful and I'll just be like, I'm one of those witches, babe. And like my dog's like, why? Okay. We are often told to start with building intuition, which is undoubtedly true. Oh, by the way, the keywords are grounded and connection. Never underestimate the power of working with the spirit. You need to learn to ground the spiritual information into your physical life. To be flighty is to connect to spirit, but to be rooted is to become a channel for spirit. You become a vessel that allows the divine intelligence to spread its wisdom here on earth. A more familiar word is manifestation. Seeing that you both got the Magician card, this seems pretty significant to me. Being grounded is about being present and aware of how things make you feel. You have to feel into your body. You are being asked to dig in deeper. Maintaining deep roots is how you pull yourself from the darkness. It is easy to get grounded or to do your spiritual practice when things are going well. It is entirely different ballgame when you feel defeated and broken. But the darkest parts of your journey are when you need to be rooted most. The real gift of spiritual commitment is found when you feel like your back is against a wall. Don't give up when times are hard. Instead, find nourishment below the surface. Find your connection to your true self, your ancestors, your guides, your trust, and your instincts. Your situation is not so hard that you can give up. It is a call to surrender your practice. This message is amplified if you've also pulled these other cards we didn't pull. Okay, cool. Y'all need to get rooted. You need to go deep into the roots that are between the two of you, right? And look at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of Wands energy. Rooted in a solid foundation together, which comes from deeply knowing your authentic self. Okay. And your theme for the week, the divine feminine focusing on ending cycles, completing things, seeing her world come together. The divine masculine focused on ending painful separation. And the two of you focused on the star energy, which we saw already and talked about for the divine feminine, which happened to come out with the 10 of Wands, which is also a card of completion. The star for the both of you is about the feminine energy, healing through the unconscious, pouring it into the material. It is about allowing the feminine energy to be expressed. So masculine, that means allowing your feelings and emotions to surface, your wishes and desires coming from that feminine emotion to be fulfilled and to grant them, to grant it to the one outside of self that you are personifying as your feminine energy, to grant her ability to shine, to reveal her, to show her to the world. That is the theme of this week. So good luck with it. I often do themes and then wonder if I paid any more attention to it after I finished egotistically watching myself. But I do see these things come out to play, because the magic of this is not that, if you leave here and you don't do anything, nothing will happen. If you leave here and you don't do anything, you'll experience tower moments. Shit is going to happen because you ask for shit to happen. The question is, are you going to be the person who co-creates in that magician energy and uses the tools that I'm giving you to navigate your way towards your manifestation with spirit? Or are you going to let spirit slap your ass sideways, upside down, inside out until you're forced into the experience you need? An example of this would be like, let's say you've been wanting to leave your job, but you've been afraid that the small business you've been growing won't sustain you. So you just complain constantly about the job, but you don't do anything. Like, you don't look into actually, legalizing your small business so that you could request some business credit for the first couple of years where you're growing. And then that would give you the time to grow the business, and you would have the financial security you needed so that you wouldn't have to do a lot of other, shit that isn't your business. No, you're not doing any of that. You're just coming home and being like, I fucking hate these fucking idiots that I fucking work with all day and the fucking people that I'm on the fucking phone with, right? Everyone around you is like, yeesh. Your relationships suffer because people don't want to hear you talk about that. Like, all these things happen, and then they're like, now my relationships aren't good. This isn't happening. This, and I hate this, and I don't like that, and this, and that, and the other thing. And then you come home one day and you go to work one day and you come in and you get fired just on the spot for something that is completely out of your control. And then you come home, and then what do you say? You don't say, oh my God, I'm so thankful I don't have to work there anymore. I really hated it. I was just tearing me up inside every single day. Like, it was just ruining me and destroyed me. And I could tell the universe is just like, you can't do this anymore. When you do come home and say that, that's when you're knowing you're starting to really you're using some of your tools. But most of the time when you're not in your enlightenment, you come home from the job that you hated having been fired, and you're like, these motherfuckers fired me. I'm going to sue them like sons of bitches, right? It's so interesting. You were like, I hate this job. And you was like, oh, okay. Get rid of the job. She doesn't want the job. And then the angels are like, yeah, but what about the money we were just talking about? And God's like, listen, I don't know. Just no job, no money, I guess. That's what we're doing right now. That's how we're going to get her to do what she really needs to do. Okay, no job, no money, no boyfriend, no girlfriend, nothing. She can't have any of those things. She wants them, but she's just complaining about how she doesn't have them. So I think she's saying she doesn't want them. I don't know. I'm confused. Let's go out to eat. Do you guys want to go out to eat tonight? I would not want that job. Okay. Go use your tools. Go do the things. Go get what you want, right? Go get what you want. If the person isn't coming, fuck that person. Go get all the shit you thought that person was going to bring you, and then watch who steps up after the person. And if they see you doing that and join you and want to help, great. And if they don't, also great. What does it matter? You already did all the things that you thought that they had to do for you, which made them not want to come because nobody would want to have that much responsibility. Okay? So go do your own things. I love you. Thank you for being here today with me. I want to take the moment to give you a shout out for staying through the whole thing and learning all the lessons and trying to do it every day. That's awesome. And I respect that drive. I have it myself. So I want to make this work. I'm determined. I will get it right, or I will die trying. So that's where I am. And I know you're here with me because you're a reflection of me. And I see a lot of positive changes in myself, and I hope you see them in yourself. If you come here and you find that some of the messages are like over your head, or they don't really apply to some of the people that you're with, they're not entirely resonating, I also encourage people to go back to some of my earlier videos from a year ago and just see if you might be on a different part of the journey where you really align with me, but maybe you haven't learned some of the things that I learned a year ago, and you can learn those with me, my past version of myself on YouTube, which is wild. So enjoy all of that. Please like. I notice a lot of people watch but don't like. It's really weird. I try to like everything I watch. Maybe you don't want people to know that you liked it. If you don't want people to know that you like my stuff or something, make a private playlist and add my videos to the playlist. That's another way to just make sure that my content keeps getting out there to reach other accounts. And I will see you. The hell day is it? It's Monday. Okay, this week's going to be weird. I will most likely see you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But it's a studio week. Sometimes I get drained and I don't have a ton of energy in the morning. So it's a little touch and go. But normally I would be here on Wednesday for obstacles removed, and I'll try to honor that for you this week. If not, check my Instagram stories to see what is the what. And pay attention to Pearl and the Purr's Instagram stories, because I'm recording one of my new ones this week, and it is a fucking banger. It has trap drums. I know, I'm old, but I put trap drums in it because I'm bold. I'm old and I'm bold, okay? So I think you're going to enjoy it, and I will see you on Wednesday. Fare thee well.